Hi, everyone. This is Bailey Liu with the Washington State Charter School Association, your host for the Fundraising Learning Series, where I bring in experts to talk about equity-driven fundraising practices. Today, I'm introducing you to two scholars and a staff member at Pinnacles Prep, a charter public school in Wenatchee, to talk about student-led campaigns. I have Sara Rolfs here, who is the co-founder, former board member, a community connector at Pinnacles. She is a passionate Wenatchee local who has devoted her professional career to diverse education-rooted endeavors and well-versed in grassroots advocacy and community organizing. Welcome, Sara. And I also have two scholars here, Mo and Eole, 6th and 7th graders.
My name is Eole, and I'm a 6th grader at Pinnacles. The thing I really like about this school is the unique curriculum. It is so hands-on, and it's a fundraising campaign. It was really fun, and we got to learn some new things about raising money. Right now, I am learning ASL because that is really fun.
I'm Moses Abbott, and I like the hands-on activity. And it's fun because they kind of let our imaginations run wild.
Thanks for being here today. I see that you led an awesome, successful annual campaign this winter. Can you tell me a little bit more about that experience? How did you get scholars to participate?
So we were looking, the development committee was looking at running our annual campaign like a lot of nonprofits do at the end of the year. And then I also happened to be running a peak time group. And so then I was like, oh, well, what do you guys think about being involved in the annual campaign? And so one really great teachable moment is to explain about the levy situation and how we don't have access to local levy dollars, and that really opened their eyes and in some ways, motivated them. We want to have all these great programs and we don't have the same amount of funding. I actually had some of our marketing expert friends come in and talk about running campaigns. So then they figured out what it is that we want to do, like social media and sending out a testimonial video, what sorts of collateral did we want to build, and then made the assignment.
I really liked learning about the match and the amount of money we get if someone matches it. And that was a really cool experience. And it was fun tracking the rates of fundraising and seeing how it progressed.
It was an interesting opportunity for group of students to work together on how to raise money and how to publicize it. I worked on a thermometer, so half of it was baking soda and half of it was vinegar. And so we would pour baking soda on one side. It didn't really work, but it was still fun to build. I think my favorite part was building the thermometer with some of my friends. And yeah, the scariest part was probably the embarrassment not working.
I think it's good to get that experience, and it was fun learning to work with other people on the project and learning how to cooperate and make something.
So we did have a scholar lead off of the initial ask letter was totally written by one of our scholars. Eole.
Earlier this year, I wrote a newsletter out to donors, and it was really a really fun experience to be able to show our appreciation, thanks, and to learn how to sort of publicize that. And we wrote lots of thank you notes to the donors. Fun to connect with other people in our community.
And then others were into the videoing, so they went around and they got testimonials from different scholars. And then we had scholars that designed all of the thank you cards.
Yeah, that's awesome. Why was it important to be a part of this project?
It's important to be a part of this project because it teaches us skills we can otherwise learn, and it helps our school and our community, and it helps friendships. It's pretty amazing.
It really teaches you collaboration and working together.
Yeah, and equity. Yeah, those are skills we need in
What was important for you to include in the campaign?
What was super important for me in the newsletter I wrote is I included some of my own experiences, and I think that would be a really good idea to put out so they can see how it is for one school. I can't speak for everyone, but they can see it from the point of view of one, and I think that can help change their opinions about this school for the better. I'm enjoying.
I didn't really do much in campaigning. I just built a thermometer. But when I did do some of the videos, I just wanted to tell my experience with Pinnacles Prep and why it's a great school.
Love that with the campaign, some of your materials were translated in Spanish. Like, who did the translation and how did you decide what pieces to translate?
So we went to Google Translate, copied and pasted everything, and then pasted it back into the same template. And so you had like an exact mirror image, but in Spanish.
Yeah, we think it's important to get out like the newsletters in different languages to like suit everybody's needs and show that we're gonna help everyone reach their goals. And so I think that's really important.
So our philosophy is, as to the best of our ability, we try and have everything in English and Spanish because I think about 30% of our families are primary, their home language is Spanish. And so that's exactly what we did, is we used Google to translate, and then we had scholars review it to make sure that it made sense.
How do you balance, making sure the content and the imagery stay on brand?
Yeah, so we have the style guide, which I did show them. So that was another great teachable moment to say, this is how, this is the colors, this is the font. But because this was student driven, I felt like we had more leeway to not make, stay on brand like we do when we have, when I make social media slides or, someone else, we are very brand oriented, but we had a little more leeway, which in some ways was fun to not have to do that. You see the different kids' personalities come out. Like, one guy was really like wordy, and one scholar made a slide that said, wanted $20,000. I mean, it was just like cut to the chase. And so seeing those different personalities come out, and honoring that, like I asked them if they wanted to do this. And so the commitment that I made was honoring, like within reason. Like if it was something obnoxious, you wouldn't allow it, but you get the very floral please and all that. And then you get the, nope, we just want 20 grand, give us 20 grand, And so that was really fun.
Yeah, that is really fun to see. What are 3 pieces of advice for students at other schools if they were to start your own fundraising campaigns?
Listen to their ideas and don't shut them down immediately. You're going to want to work as a team and not just have one person do all the work, because then that's not really fun for the others, and their ideas can be better.
For the strengths of people so they can know what to work on. So it's fun for everyone and the job gets done. Learning to be like acceptable to change and working with a team would be something really good, to be flexible and be willing to not have it always your way. I think that would help.
What is your 3 advice to share with other schools as they consider starting a student-led campaign?
Some of the challenges was, because we met every day, keeping the traction and the motivation was a little more difficult. Just you can build a social media slide in a matter of 5 minutes, especially once they got real well versed in Canva. So my recommendation is that you don't need to spend 45 minutes a day or an hour and a half a day, essentially, because of the 2 groups, at 4 days a week in order to pull this off. I think honoring their work, like the whole branding conversation, give them the information, but then allow wiggle room so that their personalities can come through. I think that educating them on the why you're doing it, like for me, the big thing was the levy equalization and explaining that, we're a school, but we're also a nonprofit, and nonprofits usually do this campaign. So the education component of teaching them why, not only about the skill building, but the why we need to raise money, because then they have some more ownership over it and understand what our sector, the struggles that we have as far as funding. I just have fun with it. I mean, that's the most thing. It was great because last year I had run the campaign, and it was just so much more fun to have more people involved, and they'd come up with ideas and, oh yeah, sure, okay, and a different way of putting it than I would, because they're have a totally different perspective because of age and gender and ethnicity. They just have, it's a different thing. And so just, if you're going to do it, make the commitment that you're going to honor the work and the perspective of the kids and not be stuck in whatever normal mindset you are for a fundraising campaign.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here and sharing your story with us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.